Joining us now in studio, he's been very patient, Clay Atkinson. Clay, good to have you, man.
Good morning, John. Thanks for having me.
So you're running for a Virginia Beach Republican chairman. This will be decided in a mass meeting on April 9th. Where is it? What time is it?
It is at Corporate Landing Middle School. The doors open at 10:30. Registration closes at 11:45. The meeting will start at noon, and then I've been assured by those who are running this thing that shouldn't be more than an hour and should be done.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see. The one quirk that a lot of people need to know, though, is that the facility they've picked, it's a 500-seat stadium. There's 130 parking spaces, and they have a rule in place that says if you are not in line by 11:45, you are not getting in.
So is it outside or inside?
It's inside.
Inside.
Yeah.
So it seats 500, but parking only for 130.
Yeah.
So
there's an elementary school next door they said we can park at, and then the grass.
So basically, you might have to walk 10 or 15 minutes. So what you're saying is you try to get there at 20 of, you're not going to get in.
Yeah, get there early if you're going to participate.
Now, so that everybody understands, mass meetings are not like the conventions where you have to pre-file as a delegate, like in our convention. You don't have to do that. To go to a mass meeting and vote for the chairman, all you have to be is a registered voter.
Any registered voter. Doesn't matter party affiliation. If it's your first time voting, any registered voter in Virginia Beach can show up and participate in our mass meeting.
Right. As long as you're in the city limits of Virginia Beach and you're a registered voter, you can come in and you can vote for either Clay Atkinson for chairman or Tina.
Yeah.
What's her last name?
Mapes.
Mapes, that's right, Tina Mapes. We had on our show a couple months ago. And this is to replace our good friend Kenny Longo, who's retiring. There's bigger implications here, Clay, because the winner of this race, obviously it gives momentum to one of the candidates running for the 2nd District chair. There's 3 candidates running for that. Our good friend Curtis Colgate, who is a personal friend of ours, who has done a fabulous job. Gary Byler, who's also a good friend of mine. And Dennis Free, who is also running. That'll be at the 2nd District Convention, May 21st on a Saturday, same as ours, in the 4th District. And that'll be up on the peninsula.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think they've released the official call yet, so we're not sure the location, but they've definitely said it'll be on the peninsula.
Right. And so that'll be decided there. And in that race, you have to have 50%. So it's likely to go to a second ballot.
Yeah,
Because
probably.
I don't think anybody's going to get over 50%.
I don't think anyone's going to drop out at this point.
No. And so what will happen is there's 3 candidates, Free, Colgate, and Byler. So if one candidate gets 40%, one gets 35, and one gets 25, then the person that got 25 is out. And then the other 2 candidates, there's a second ballot. And whoever gets the highest number wins. So Kenny Longo's done
a fun one.
It's going to be fun. I'm going to try to be there. Kenny Longo has done a really good job. Okay, I mean he's elected a lot of Republicans. He's a good guy, salt of the earth, done a good job. He's retiring. Why should Virginia Beach Republicans come out and elect Clay Atkinson to take over the party?
I've been involved in the local unit now, coming on probably 15 years, but even before that, I was sort of in politics just because of my dad. He's the city treasurer of Virginia Beach. He would take me to these meetings, introduce me to the people, and I've got a long-standing relationship with a lot of the different groups and a lot of the different members of the party, the elected and things like that. When I found out, and I was very clear when I was talking to Longo that if he ever, I would never ever run against him if he was rerunning. As long as he was rerunning, I would do everything I could to clear the field for him. And he's done a great job. He's been there coming up on 6 years now. And when he finally announced that he was going to step down, I talked to him and we chatted for a little bit. And I was like, I really think there's a lot of momentum here that we can build on. I think I'd be a good chairman, and I'm going to go forward with it. And he told me about Tina running, and he said that his official position as chairman, he's got to be neutral, which is a fair stance. But as far as what the committee's supposed to be doing, our main focus is to get Republicans elected. That's our official job, is to make sure that all of our partisan offices are filled with Republican representatives. But beyond that, there's also just the momentum and the peacemaking and the deal-making behind the scenes that helps bring cohesion to the party, brings cohesion to the people who participate, and to help keep the grumbling at bay as much as possible. It's politics. It's heated. People have opinions. They want to express those opinions. And when they do so, they shouldn't feel like by doing that they're going to be attacked or criticized or, once the fight is over, once the argument is over, it's done, let's move on. And I think I'm the best person to help bring that sense of purpose and momentum to the party.
So the position of party chairman in Virginia Beach, obviously, and a critical one, especially got a mayoral election coming up, council election coming up. But look, at the end of the day, Clay, I just wanted you to talk about this. Second District and Virginia Beach, you guys are always fighting about something down there.
Yeah,
you're always fighting. Now you got a three-way battle for chairmanship. You had that very high-profile battle for chairmanship in 2014.
Yeah.
Senator Frank Wagner and Curtis Colgate, and they did the slating, and Ray Allen was running around with his young guns and slating people, and the thing was a mess. Why do you guys fight so much?
Let me
like in Chesapeake,
give
we
me
never
5
fight.
seconds to put my thoughts together on that.
It's like Henrico. Like Henrico in Virginia Beach, you guys are always fighting. You're always fighting.
We're a larger unit. We've got a lot of diverse people that are part of our unit. I think the real split really started towards the end of the Bush presidency, when we had Republicans that controlled all the major branches of government, and they didn't act like Republicans. They didn't govern like Republicans should. We have these principles that say fiscal conservatism and religious liberty and things like that, and they weren't doing it. Well, then came in the Tea Party, and the libertarian groups gained momentum. But the Republican Party, our system of government is a two-party system. I mean, it's just the way it's designed. That's you can have other parties, but a winner-take-all district system is a two-party system. The Republican Party is one of those parties. So those groups, understanding that, they try to, I don't want to say co-op, but interject their belief system into ours in very rigorous terms. I mean, unfortunately, politics is compromise. You have to work together with people. You can't hold out strong litmus tests and say, if you're not this Republican, you're not a Republican enough for us, and therefore we have no use for you. That's just the wrong philosophy. It's a big tent. We need a lot of people involved. As I like to say it, you need many voices to make a choir.
So basically, a lot of people say that your opponent, Tina Mapes, and I'm just to be honest here, they tell me, well, she's controlled by the Stali Empire. What exactly?
Empire is a strong word, I think, but
what is that about?
Well, she's a deputy. Obviously, Ken is the sheriff. His brother is the Commonwealth's attorney, and their other brother is a delegate. And I think they have a sister who's also
Siobhan Hunovitz, state senator.
Yeah,
District 12.
I'm not sure what belief system their father installed in them, but that's a good thing to have so many members of a family so willing to serve their community. Nothing bad about that. I think the Stalis are great people. I'm not against the Stalis. I'm not the anti-Stali candidate. It's just part of the problem is we have these entrenched groups that when new people come in, they feel like there's no space for them because the room's been crowded out. And my belief is we got to make space. We need people just flooding in the doors. And the truth is our rolls are down right now. I'm not really sure exactly why that is, but basically we've got new people, we've got new blood that want to come in, but when they show up to these meetings and all they see is the infighting and the bickering and people who just are trying to keep all the power to themselves, then they don't see a place for themselves and they pack up and leave and we never see them again, which is very unfortunate because there's a lot of energy that we need to capture, especially with this election cycle, especially next election cycle.
Well, look, when you look at district chairman, city committee, unit committees, there's a lot to be done. But there's two schools of thought that, and I'm just talking from the outside looking in, I would never be involved in running for any of this stuff. Now, running for national delegate for different reasons. Right. And so even having done that, you get to see a little bit of the more inside stuff. And I told my wife, the Fräulein, the other day, I'm glad we're doing this because I've covered this stuff in Virginia, since I've been here since 2010 or 11. Yeah, 2011. I've covered it. But until you actually go through the process, you don't realize how difficult it is, how much it's rigged for the so-called establishment to keep control. So what I find is a lot of these positions want to be controlled by the political power base in power just so they control them.
There's something to that.
You know what I'm saying?
There's definitely something to that.
If you look at Chesapeake, for instance, and that's where I live, so it's my example. I mean, the whole Chesapeake Republican organization is controlled by basically Shirley Forbes. I mean, if she doesn't want to get something done or she doesn't want to back somebody, you're out. Forget it.
Right.
And is it really because they want to build the Chesapeake Party, or is it because Shirley wants control of it because her husband's a congressman and they can wield power because he's in Congress? And so you got all that going on.
There's two dynamics there.
You know what I'm saying?
When we had the issue with Wagner and the Colgate race 2 years ago, I was sending around a slew of emails, and they were prophetic almost. I predicted exactly what was going to happen on the convention floor with the slate, with the fight, with Frank and everything. And I actually sent it to Jason Miyares. And it was, I saw clear as day what was about to happen. And I was begging anyone who would listen to try to step in, take charge of the situation, and shut it down, and just let things take their natural course, because that will be the best way to bring cohesion and unity. Unfortunately, we didn't have that person. We didn't have a Shirley Forbes. We didn't have anyone willing to step up to that group and tell them to stand down. They went forward with it. It became the disaster that it was, disenfranchised a lot of people. Some of that still remains, and that's why I hope by me being chairman, someone who has been involved in all this, has seen and has actively argued against it, that maybe I can bring that unity back, bring that cohesion back. Everyone talks about unity, but saying that, well, if you just agree with me, then we have unity. That's not the attitude to have. It's like people have their opinions.
If you agree with me, we have unity. I like that. But look, Clay, you hit it on the head. I mean, everybody talks about we want to unify, but only if you agree with them.
Yeah.
And when you said that, the person I thought of in Virginia Beach that exemplifies that, she's a good friend of mine, and I love her to death. She's a hoot, but it just reminds me of Waverly Woods. We'll get everything unified if you agree with me on everything. Then we're fine. Other than that, we're going to fight in perpetuity.
Right.
I love you, Waverly. I do, honestly, but it's always makes me laugh.
I think the way Tina and I have done this race, I'm hoping will be the model for all future races going forward.
Yeah, it's been clean.
Yeah, I mean, we talked early on, and talked about a lot of things, but basically, I decided that this was going to be about vision casting. What is my vision? What is your vision? Let the people who participate in these things decide which vision they like best. I have nothing bad to say against Tina. Her and her husband are great people. I love them a lot. I hope that if I become chairman, she'll stay on the board with me and help work with me and her husband as well. I mean, I'm not trying to purge people or anything. Just hopefully
purge people.
Hold some.
But look, that you guys fight so much. That's what people think. One group is going to purge the other group. Okay, let's get to the second district chairman's race. 3 candidates. My good friend Curtis Colgate, the incumbent, running for re-election. Gary Byler, who he brought Curtis in.
Yeah.
And Gary Byler, who is the running the Trump campaign in Southeast Virginia, now running for chairman against his friend, which is odd. And then Dennis Free,
right,
who is, I guess, part of the Tina Mapes crowd, right?
I don't want to draw any parallels. I don't actually know, but he was a deputy as well.
Right. So they're part of that. They're part of the whole Tina Mapes thing. And you've endorsed Curtis Colgate for re-election. Why?
Yeah. I've known Curtis since he was brought into the party. That's actually how we met, with Sioux Politics. He's a great guy. He's got a big, big heart. He's one of the most generous, caring people. He loves politics. He cares about politics. He knows the processes. He knows the people. And to get him involved is one of the greatest things that our region has produced as far as a real statesman-type person. I know people say their biggest complaint is they can't get him on the phone. Well, he's a busy guy. But everything that they're supposed to be doing in the district, he's done. He's done it all. He's raised money. He supported candidates. He supported Frank Wagner. He threw an event for him at his house. And then they recruit someone to run against him.
All he needs to do is hire an assistant that when you call his cell phone, they answer it, get somebody to do all that paperwork and just be there and get messages to him, and it'll be fine. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network. Unfortunately, we're out of time. We enjoyed Clay Atkinson. This race for Republican chairman of Virginia Beach is going to be decided on Saturday, April 9th at
Corporate Landing Middle School.
Corporate Landing Middle School. I got to write that down.
Got to be there by 11:45.
Doors open at 10:30, 11:45. If you get there at 11:45.1, doors are shut. You're out. Yep. All you have to do is be a registered voter. And there's 2 candidates, Clay Atkinson and Tina Mapes. This is the John Fredericks Radio Network.